Is what you know about me, big G-L-O-N-A-G-L-E.
Hey, what's up, you guys? It's Thirsty Thursday, which means it's another live night for Life with G podcast. You already know what time it is. It's your girl G, the Puerto Rican podcast princess, your favorite baby mama in the building, and we have JR per usual.
It's high noon.
What's up, everybody? It's Thursday. A lot of love's going out there. I just want everybody to know to have a really good and blessed day. Because it's Thursday. Peace.
I love the intros this season, JR. And we have another special guest tonight. Cassandra, please introduce yourself.
I'm sorry. I'm grinning from ear to ear. You guys are too funny. I can't stop laughing. My name is Cassandra Juniphant. I'm the founder of Ori Ara. I'm the creator of the Body Ministry, and I consider myself a self-care alchemist. But I'm here to talk about whatever you've got in mind. I'm so excited about tonight.
Yes, and I am so excited to have you. Thank you so much for agreeing to come on to Life with G podcast. I think we connected via Threads, right?
Yeah. Threads has been dope.
Yeah, Threads has been such a game changer when it comes to content creating and finding like-minded people. So we are really, really happy you're here. Everybody who's tapping in, I see y'all viewing. Don't just watch. Make sure you tap into that live chat comment. I see a lot of new people here. So if you are new to Life with G podcast, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. What are you waiting for? All right? Join the family. We're going to get lit tonight. Don't forget we got that call-in feature. Details on that is listed in the description, and all the links for Cassandra and her website and all the good stuff that she has for y'all is in the description for the video as well. We're gonna get into some stuff. I gotta address the elephant in the room. And that is the fact that we triggered a lot of the fellas Tuesday night. So I am hoping that for tonight, we can give y'all a little bit of a different perspective. Maybe something y'all wouldn't expect, because we're talking about radical feminism. And I do want us to go ahead and switch to that 3-man camera. JR, let's get into it. Bailey Baffles, welcome in. Andra, welcome in. Thank y'all for tuning in to another Life with G podcast. I love the comments. And we are all about body positivity at Life with G podcast, baby. I might be fat, but I'm still on your screen. All right? But we're going to get into it. Let's talk about this radical feminism and the 4B movement. Cassandra, have you heard about this? Like, what do you know about the 4B movement?
Yeah, not much, only the little bit that we've discussed. I mean, prior to that, I have this awareness of this idea that we are decentering men. Like, I've heard that thrown around everywhere. And I do have some point of reference where women have been talking about refusing to have children. But besides that, I really don't know much. I picked up little bits and pieces from here and there. But what I do know about it, I mean, it's pretty wild. It's pretty aggressive, actually.
Yeah.
It's really, really aggressive. It's like the decentering men is so that we could take over and like be in that. It's a really weird energy. Actually.
Yeah, and I definitely want to get into exactly what 4B is for sure. JR, do you have any knowledge on that subject?
Yeah, of course. I love their songs. Honestly, you know what I'm saying? What's that one? All I do is think of you day and night.
Are you thinking of K-pop?
No.
What
are you thinking of?
That's before.
Oh, I get it. Yeah, no, my brain's not there, JR. It's not a music group, it's a movement.
Then no. It's
okay.
All I do is think of you.
No. Although your vocals are sounding very nice tonight, y'all. Give a shout out to JR for his vocals, all right? Listen, let's go ahead and give you a description now. There's a multitude of sources. There's a lot of different opinions online about what 4B is, what 4B isn't. So take this with a grain of salt. I am not an expert. So we're only going to be speaking on what this breakdown that I found online said that it was. All right. So bear with me. 4B movement is a social movement that originated in South Korea, which stands for 4 no's specifically. And this is women against men. And I do say against for the reason that they have these 4 no's. Okay. It's no marriage. So we're not getting married to no man. No child childbirth. We ain't finna have your babies. No dating. I don't even want to go have dinner with your ass. And definitely no sex. Keep that penis away from me. So now that we know what those four no's are, Cassandra, what's your reaction to women taking a stance and taking away these four critical things from men in their society?
We are like denying ourselves all of the best things that life have to
Right?
offer. I don't understand. How is this winning? Like,
Yeah.
help me understand. How is this winning? I
I
think it makes
and
sense.
I know that different cultures might have different experiences, of course. So, with respect to that, it started in South Korea. So, I'm not a citizen there, so I'm not sure exactly what those ladies are facing. Online, it does say that it gained traction among women, particularly millennials and Gen Z, as a response to societal pressures, patriarchal norms, and gender inequality in relationships. When it comes to South Korea specifically, it was more rooted in sociocultural issues such as strict traditions, intense societal pressures, and a hyper competitive economy. So I think it's obvious that the women in South Korea, from other resources that I saw, specifically like the unpaid labor, so cleaning the house, taking care of the children, things like that, they felt that it was really there was a lot of inequality in that space, and that they were working really hard as well outside of the house. So for that reason, they started to scale back to hold men accountable.
Does it though?
I don't know. I'm not
It's
sure
hard for me
that
to
it's
understand.
working.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. JR, I have a question as the man on the panel, right? Um, if you wake up tomorrow and the women in the United States of America, every single one of them is saying, I'm not gonna marry you, I'm not gonna have your kids, I'm not dating you, and I'm not having sex with you. As a man, how do you respond? How do you feel?
I'm not gonna lie to you. That's absolutely horrible. You telling me that you're not gonna allow me to pay your bills? That what you're trying to tell me? You're not gonna allow me to take you on a beautiful date and have to protect you the entire time and have the social pressures of making sure that I do everything right. That's what you're gonna tell me? You're gonna take that away from me? That you're not gonna have my kids, another responsibility that you're probably still gonna use and weaponize against me? You telling me you're gonna take that away from me too? And then sex. You're gonna take sex away from me? Away from me, even though I can really go pay for it on the side of the corner? You telling me you're gonna take that away from me
Oh
too?
God.
How dare you? I think it's horrible. And us men, we are going to be affected. We love to pay our women's bills. So they need to remove that type of movement and let us pay those bills.
That was a nice segue. That was a nice little sales pitch there. Cassandra, I have to ask, as a woman, do you think that you would be able to fall in line with those rules? If tomorrow it's like, ladies, we all got to be in solidarity, would you do
No.
it?
No, call me a sellout real quick. Like it's real easy for me. It's real easy for me.
Right.
I'm a man lover. Like I can't help that. Or maybe I could, but I don't want to. There's too
Mm-hmm.
many like my life has been made beautiful. Yes, because of the women in my life, but definitely because of the men in my life, the men that have come before me, the men that are around me now, and the men that, are yet to be birthed that at some point will be in charge of running this company and still, introducing beautiful things to my life. Like I
Yeah.
don't understand, and I truly want, and I don't know if we have an answer to this, but how do the men in is it Japan you said feel about, or
In
South
South
Korea?
Korea.
How
Yeah.
do they feel about this? Like,
That's
are
a
they
great
accepting it?
question. I don't know. That is one part of the research that I didn't do. And how dare I not consider how those men feel? I would assume that they're losing their collective shit. I know that they have been doing this movement for quite some time.
Yeah,
Not that many women are participating as they did in the very beginning. So those women are getting burnt out and tired of upholding these four no's as well. So that's evident. I think that speaks volumes also.
yeah,
But there is a population issue now due to it because of them no longer having relations. So this also gained like government attention, and I think that that's what once the news articles started covering that because of the population issues, that's when the Western women we kind of took it over, and of course, I'm. Y'all don't cancel me, but women, especially in the United States, love to hate on men. So something like this, of course, they're
yeah.
gonna jump on it. So I I guess my question, and for the ladies in the comments as well, I want y'all to tap in. Do you think that this is actually something that's beneficial for women to do? Because I'm gonna be honest, I don't see a positive side for it. I get the boundaries depending on who you're dealing with, but to take it away altogether and not give any man a chance, I feel like that's a little hypocritical.
The thing is, I think we talked about this a little bit before, like
Hmm.
boundaries don't make sense in any relationship, right? And so this idea that let me have this boundary and have that boundary, and somehow by somebody observing these boundaries, that's going to bring us closer together and be the environment that fosters, deep relations and sensitivity and vulnerability and all of the
Hmm.
things that it takes to make something work. It just doesn't make sense. If you think about the literal idea of what a boundary is, it's meant to keep people out. And so,
Mm.
we toss that word around really loosely, but it actually has meaning. And then it enforces the thing that we're asking for. And I think what these women really want, but aren't maybe using the appropriate language, is we want standards, right? The
Yes.
idea is that we have certain standards that we want to have for ourselves and in our relationship. It's just the thing about standards, they're actually meant for us to follow, not for others. People take the cue
Mm.
from how we're treating ourselves in our personal standards. It's not a standard for us to have to be like, you must do this and you must do that. You have to obey my standards. Standards aren't for everyone else. They're for us to embody. And once we do, like everyone else kind of follows suit. It's really hard to
Mm.
treat somebody better than they treat themselves. And that's the problem, is that a lot of women aren't treating themselves well. And so it's easier to say, you must do this, because if I get you to do this, then that'll make me feel good about myself, when that's really an inside
Mm.
job. That's really an inside job.
I really like your thought. I really like what you said there, Jr. What's your reaction to what Cassandra just said?
No, I agree. I like it a lot. I don't think a lot of people understand that concept too, because we do use boundaries, right? And I think we use boundaries on like a not really a repercussion type of deal or a consequence kind of deal, but we do have those boundaries when you're trying to get to know somebody. But when you trust somebody, like what's the boundaries for? Like what is it? Like they should everything they do should be in good intent. You know what I'm saying? Should have good faith within it. So yeah, those boundaries are really just blocks. So understand that though. But if you're getting to know somebody, people, she's not talking about getting to know somebody. She's talking about when you're already deep in that connection and that relationship, those
Mm.
boundaries, it needs to have expand. It needs to not be boundaries within self with this other person. It needs to have boundaries within what are you allowing into the relationship for both of you. So again, she's not, you know what I'm saying, making sure people understand
Mm.
that, because then women gonna be like, well, I ain't gonna have no boundaries now when I'm talking to a guy. Nah, nah, nah. Make sure
Yeah,
that
they're
man
not
respects
the
you.
same thing.
Yeah.
Thank you for clearing that up, Jr. I do want to tap in with the comments. Y'all really like this topic. Y'all are tapping in. I appreciate y'all. We're gonna start off with Bailey Baffles. Welcome in. She said 4B is an extreme concept for sure, but sometimes you have to really push to get the results you want, especially in less accepting countries. I can see that. Savage said, y'all talking the four only things us men want. Damn, that's left. What's left? Yeah. Just when a chica welcome in, she said, because we are tired all the time. Yeah, I definitely want to get into the reason, the inspiration behind the movement, because that matters as well. Andra said, I think the really frustrating part of the 4B movement is that it takes our power away, in my opinion, but also is contradicting to cancer and alopecia patients. We tell cancer patients you're beautiful bald, but the 4B movement women are shaving their heads to be unattractive to men. So yeah, there is a better way to do it, ladies. Yikes. We can definitely get into that as well. Bailey said that's literally the point, Savage Khan. Take away everything you want. Savage said, hope you have a passport, JR. Aaron, welcome in. Welcome, welcome. He said, I don't know about that one. Andra said, JR, you are abstinent, so you good. LOL. Just when a chica said most men don't want to pay for shit. Not sure about that nowadays. That's true. There is a different movement of men who don't really want to come out of pocket. We can get into that as well. Aaron said most women can't handle a guy that pays for everything. Savage said men don't want to pay for shit no more because they are tired of getting used. You know what we want in return. Let me guess. Coochie. Aaron said she's speaking facts, talking about Cassandra. Yes, she is. Savage said, "Ooh, I like her." That's a huge compliment because Savage get on here, I think, just to argue with women. So congrats to you for that. Just when a chica said, "What the fuck? No boundaries? Yikes! I'm out." Oh wait, no, stay. We still got more to talk about. Andra said that was very well said. Yeah, I think Jr. was able to kind of clear any confusion on the statement of no boundaries. And when you look at it from that perspective with a deeper understanding, I do agree with everything that Cassandra said. It's all about word choice as well, and your all's perception there. As far as Andra's comment about women specifically trying to make themselves unattractive, I think
Mm.
that's an example of women not truly understanding what the issue is. I think it's once again putting all the accountability on the man versus what Cassandra was just talking about of having standards for yourself. What are we accepting in those relationships as well? You can't control another person, but you can control you and what you accept. Cassandra, what do you think about women trying to make themselves unattractive to men? Do you even think that that's truly possible?
I mean, it's a couple of things come to mind. I guess it kind of is, but a man who's feeling you is a man who's feeling you. Like, I mean, bald
Mm,
heads aren't that's not a deterrent to a man, and that's like that says so much about what that woman thinks about herself, that the only thing
mm-hmm.
he finds value in her showing up to the world is how she looks. And so if she shaves her head, she's going to somehow be not valuable anymore. Like, that's just, there's a whole lot of therapy that's needed, right there to kind of get a sense of, for her to get a sense of who she is. And yeah, I really struggle with that one. It's really spiteful, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really spiteful. I don't get it. I don't get it. There, no, your beauty isn't the only thing that we have to contribute to the world, but why be spiteful as though, I mean, what are men doing? Like, they see a beautiful woman and they do what? Like, I don't understand what it was they were doing that shaving your head was the solution to, you
No,
know?
no,
Yeah.
that's crazy because
Yeah.
we
And
love bald women. We love women with hair, no hair,
Right?
wigs,
mm-hmm.
tracks, lace front. We don't care. Cornrows. We love women in general. So you could be bald head and we still gonna take you.
And I think if the goal is to get men to listen to us or to respect us or to feel seen and heard, if you are actively trying, and we say trying because like we mentioned, being bald it does not make you unattractive. Everyone is beautiful in their own right. If women are trying to be unattractive, well then why is that man going to care what you're withholding at that point? That's contradicting. I don't think I think a man's
It
going to care
is.
more about the woman he's attracted to and what she's withholding versus the women that they don't want. JR, if an unattractive woman is withholding sex from you and you deem her unattractive, is that going to make you change any of your actions or behavior?
No, not even a little bit. But if I ask to look deeper real quick, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now you again I understand there's room for disagreement here though, but I truly do believe that society has put the value of a woman on, well, not the value but the currency. A woman's beauty is her currency. And I truly believe that, right? And because of that, I think if more women were to try to change that, then that would be the route they would take, which is we don't want our beauty to be our currency. I just don't think all women would do that because there is value in that to how they market, how they're branded, how they go about life, how they get different opportunities. There's no reason to do it. Women are naturally beautiful, you know what I'm saying? So I don't think they would do it. But if they wanted to change that, then yes, I can understand them going that route. It doesn't make sense for you to tell me you're going to not give me sex, but also make me not even want it in the first place. That don't make sense.
Right, right, right.
Beautiful women are a gift to the world, not just to other men. I love looking at a beautiful woman. You know what I
Ooh,
mean? Like, it's not,
Mm-hmm.
it's just, beautiful women are just beautiful. I mean, yeah,
Absolutely.
what you
women appreciate
what you mean by
beautiful
that?
women too.
What you mean by that?
What do you mean? What do I mean? Women are beautiful. They just are. And, the idea that let me make myself look ugly so that men aren't attracted to me, it's like that there's I don't know. I think I think it's doing the most, and then it
Mm-hmm.
robs us other women of admiring you and being inspired by you. I saw this
Mm-hmm.
TikTok today where this beautiful woman, got on and she was talking about how much she loves looking at other beautiful women just because it's inspiring and it makes her feel good and it
Yeah.
makes her happy and it makes her, want to get more in alignment with her, style and version of beauty. And it's yeah, I don't understand like denying the world the gift of your
Yeah.
beauty, in whatever version it comes in order
Yeah.
to make a point to men. I mean, that's one of those things that these women are going to look back on when they're older and no longer have, that 20-year-old, that 30-year-old skin, body, personality, energy, and be so regretful that they didn't
Mm.
take full advantage of their beauty and their youth and all of the things that come with it when they had it.
And the
Not that
That's
there's
true.
not a lot to enjoy in your 40s, because there is, I'm telling you, but uh,
Absolutely.
I'm just like, I do look back, even in the small ways that I downplayed my own beauty, in the small ways that I lacked confidence, in the small ways that I didn't really own up to who I was when I was in my 20s and 30s, and feeling, a
Mm-hmm.
little remorseful and a little regretful that I didn't just, really own it and like come full out with it. Let alone these women who are saying they're intentionally downplaying themselves. I mean, I think they're getting themselves ready for a lot of regret as they get older. They're going to look back on this and shake their head.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
I do want to say something about that, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
can understand that from certain women, some women, right? Because I think women who get inspired by other beautiful women, I think they just love like life. They love women. They love that aspect of like the value of a woman, the beauty of a woman. I don't think a lot of women think that way. I think that's actually a very, very small minority of women who think that way. I think women look at it more as like not competition wise, but they just look down on that aspect of it. You know what I'm saying? Women who are, oh, I'm supernatural, they look down on women who wear makeup. Women who wear makeup, they look down on it's like a competition in a way. And I don't like it though. I really wish that women can understand that like your value isn't skin deep. You know what I'm saying? Your value is so much more than that. And hopefully, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully we get to express that today, honestly. To show women
I
really
think
how much value they have.
I definitely can think of a few people that come to mind that are women that have that thought process. Also men who judge women for how dolled up they get or how not dolled up they get. But in my experience, and I don't know if it's just the times or if it's like a maturity thing, but the amount of women that I've encountered at my I'm gonna be 32 this year. At this age, I would say for the past like anywhere from 7 to 10 years, I receive nothing but love from other women. Like there might be one hater occasionally every couple years, but the majority of women, unless y'all are faking it, and then I mean, shit, I still took the compliment. Like they genuinely adore other women and we like to see each other shine. Like you go through the drive-through and you picking up breakfast and a girl handing you the stuff is like, oh my god, you're so beautiful. Like I've noticed that more and more the more confident you are, these other women are actually really supportive. Cassandra, do you think that's like a maturity thing or do you think that's like just our generation is evolving?
That's a good question. I don't know, because I agree. I feel like we're a very complimentary, I don't know, society right now. At least the
Yeah.
circles that I run in. Like you go to the bathroom anywhere, go to the bathroom in the club, go to the bathroom at the
Hmm.
gym, go to the bathroom in the restaurant. In the ladies' room, it is nothing but love and, oh girl, you look good.
Yeah.
Where did you get the dress from? Where's the bag? Where's the shoes from? What do you smell? What are you wearing? You smell so good. We're helping each other. Like I feel like I have a sisterhood almost everywhere that I
Yeah.
go. And I remember seeing another TikTok where this lady was talking about how, especially for Black women, like giving compliments is our love language. Don't let me
Hmm.
see another sister walking down the street and it's like, go ahead, cornrows, or whatever the case may be. But you're gonna know that I
Yeah.
see you, and you're gonna know that I appreciate you. It's just,
Hmm.
I don't know. It's a love language that
Yeah.
feels very natural. I don't, but I mean, I don't doubt that there are women out there who, are less than complimentary. They're the
Yeah, for
ones that
sure.
are the haters, but it really just doesn't cross my mind to think about them because, yeah, it just doesn't really cross my mind.
Well, look, men, y'all
Yeah.
heard it right there. Just go ahead and give them compliments. Like I like your bald head, girl. Cute bald head. It look
I,
good.
I was gonna say, I think the aggression now for women in today's society has transferred from other women being in competition with each other. And now I really think that women are absolutely trying to be in competition with men. And I think that that's a very, I mean, I think it contributes to this entire conversation that we're having. I do want to highlight just one of Chica's comment that she made earlier when we first talked about the four no's. If you guys are just now tuning in, we're talking about the 4B movement. That is women who are taking a stance against men, saying that they are going to withhold marriage, childbirth, dating, and sex. So that's where we're going with this. Just one of Chica said, we're tired all the time, speaking about women. And as far as like household duties, taking care of the children, making sure the laundry's done, dinner's cooked, we know that that fits in a traditional gender role of a woman. And now that we're out in the workforce, I do feel like it is reasonable to expect some help from our male counterparts now that we are also not in the home all the time. JR, you making a face. Out with it. What you got to say to me?
Go ahead, G. Go ahead. I'll
No,
disagree at
I
the
want to
end.
hear.
You know
Y'all
I
alpha
disagree.
males, don't be quiet now because y'all been popping shit for the past 2.5 weeks. So now's the time. Pop your shit. How do you feel about women wanting y'all to help in the household? JR, while you're finding your words, I don't know why you're not being brave right now. Cassandra,
Oh,
what do you feel about that?
Um, I think there's no hard fast rules. I think that it's a conversation, right? Like I prefer traditional gender roles. I do. I love to,
Mhm.
well, I don't love to clean, but I do love to cook. I have a housekeeper. I enjoy nurturing things. I enjoy nourishing things. I enjoy developing and growing things. My relationships, my family, myself. Like I enjoy that. That's definitely a part of the feminine energy that I lean really heavily into. But that was a
Mhm.
conversation with my husband about, what that looks like for me. And
Mhm.
that's part of having standards, not necessarily a boundary and saying that you must, if we're married, you must provide everything and do that. Wasn't a boundary, that was a standard that he held as well. And it's a conversation, but there's some people who don't believe in traditional gender roles. I think I heard that like Bill Gates or somebody was like splitting his house 50-50 with his wife. Like Bill Gates was doing carpool and stuff like that. And I think that's ridiculous personally, but if they agree to that, whatever works for you. But I think it's, getting clear about those expectations and finding like enough worthiness in yourself and those standards to wait to align with the person that shares them with you. There's no need, it doesn't need to be contentious ever at any point. I think it's
Mhm.
it's just communication. I mean, yeah, it's just communication.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep the the full on masculinity inside just a little bit, you know. But y'all are
Why?
making them come out.
Go
Come on.
ahead.
Y'all are
Talk your
making them come out.
shit.
Look, let me tell you something. All right, two parts about this real quick. Right. Oh my God, y'all about to hate me though. Women, like the video, please. Like it,
Yeah, before he fucks
subscribe,
it up.
because
Okay.
I know for a fact y'all not gonna like me when I say this though.
Uh-oh.
But look, I love traditional roles, right? But we're not in a traditional era. And I don't mean traditional era when it comes to mentality. We're not a traditional era when it comes to technology. Okay. Back then, back in the day, when they had to hand scrub the laundry and fold and put them up and put them outside to dry and do all that, and they had to go. And when they got wash dishes, they ain't had no dishwasher. They gotta wash the dishes. You feel me? They gotta do all that work, extra work. They had to sweep up everything, hardwood, no carpet. Now you telling me you get a vacuum cleaner, you get a dishwasher, you get a washer and dryer to do literally 80% of the actual work. And y'all telling me
Wow.
y'all need help after I had to put that thing upstairs and get the washer and dryer connected in the back and clean it out. Now y'all telling me y'all need more help?
Maintenance did it. You didn't do it. Maintenance did it. We got maintenance crews for that.
You know
Well,
what?
that's an yes.
That maintenance crew is probably a dude, but I'm not going to talk about him. I'm just saying you need more help
Touche.
after y'all doing 20-30% of the work that they used to do before. That was the help. That washer and dryer is the help. That vacuum is the help. And y'all like the good one too, the $450 vacuum. I done bought 2 of them things. How y'all break that? I don't know. But anywho, I'm just saying, that's a lot of help. Now you want
So
me to do more?
what do you get in exchange for that though? We have, if you're drawing comparisons to like the 1950s, when women were their dirty little secret that most, moms were like on Prozac and all sorts of prescription pills and drinking and had substance abuse issues, and there was a lot going on right during that we don't talk about. But with the introduction of technology and as I guess getting more time back, what do you get in return for that as a man?
From you mean like from her not doing as much? What do I get?
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
What do you?
That's what I'm trying to say is we getting the exact same treatment. If anything, we getting more complaints. We're getting more stressful women for some reason after life got easier for them. And I'm saying y'all should be less stressed with all the extra and advanced technology that we put in the house to help.
Okay. Let me roll this back. Let me roll this back. So
Give me,
we've never lived in the
of
1950s,
course,
1960s, this pre-technology era that you're referencing. Like we didn't live it
of
during this
course.
time. So we're not going, you and I, us, we're not going from not having technology to having technology. We only know technology,
Of
right?
course.
Only know that. There's no like, so we're not getting, like, it's not like we're getting anything more than what we had before. This is the era that we've grown up in. And doing those things or having that technology has made it so that I guess, yes, in a sense, we could go get, well, we do have jobs and we do bring in an income, but back in those days, those women weren't working like outside the home though
Nope.
either, right? So
Nope.
what
Sure
you're
wasn't.
saying is, in the home, both people are working, but because we have technology, the woman can work and do the household chores because that's better than it was 70 years, 60, 70 years ago.
That's what he trying to
I'm trying to
say.
say it should be equivalent. It shouldn't be the same. Divorce rates shouldn't be going higher just because women are leaving for different options, better options, or whatever it may be. Again, more medications going on now than it was before. One in every 3 women are on medications now, and multiple of them. So yes, the life has gotten easier, yet women have gotten more stressed. They have been under more mental like deficiencies and stuff. So yeah, I would say there's a problem, and I don't know what that problem is exactly, but it definitely shouldn't be men needing to help around the household. That's
What the
not the
This is
fuck?
problem.
what
I'm
we're thinking.
sorry. I'm
So here's
sorry.
the thing. So then men don't have to help around the household. I actually prefer, I kick my husband out the kitchen. I'm like, get out. I don't need you here. I don't want you in here. But that's because then I'm not leaving this house to go and pull in a paycheck, right? Like what do you want? They have that saying, happy wife, happy life, and that's for a reason. So it's like, because there's nothing wrong with what you're saying, but you're gonna pay a trade-off. So if you're like, bring in the check, that by, if I remember the statistics correctly, women are out earning men these days too, right? So it's like,
Very facts.
bring the check, and we're bringing home more than our husbands, and still do all of this stuff and be happy about it. Like that's the ask.
No, no, no.
Okay.
That is
Don't get me
exactly
wrong.
what you're asking.
If you don't want to work, I'm a firm believer of my woman not working. So I understand what you're saying when you say that, right? That there's going to have to be a trade-off. And I would always insist other men know if your woman's working, then you have to understand that there's going to be some sacrifices you're going to have to make as a man too,
Yeah.
But again, these women want to work more nowadays and don't want to do those duties that we consider traditional and that we value. So that's what I'm saying. It's more of a movement for women not wanting to be in that traditional role, which is understandable. It's cool because y'all have the ability to go out there and actually provide yourself. What's up, G?
I disagree. Cause listen. I like Fuck that. I don't like housework. Who likes laundry? Who likes cleaning all the fucking time? The moment you clean it up, next 2 seconds it's dirty. Why? Because of the other people in the house who aren't contributing to the cleaning. It's cleaning stresses me out. I also have OCD, so when I'm stressed, I clean even more. So shout out to whoever my future partner is, because you're lucky that I do it when I'm stressed. But I don't like it. I don't love it. I definitely don't like the fact of I have to come home from work. Whether I make more than you or not, I'm still out there working as well. You don't think that I don't want to come home and relax a little bit?
Hell
You don't
yeah.
think that I want some help? So help me. Why is it now that things are so much easier, then it should be that much easier for my male counterpart to also be willing to help? What's the issue? Why is it that I have to be the one that does this? And God forbid I get tired and want a fucking break.
The double standard. That's what it is, though. We as
Right,
men,
but
we
we don't
can't
have
ask
to
for help.
live by the double standard. Y'all
Well,
are
we
better
have
than
to.
that. Y'all are mature. Y'all have more knowledge than that. We're not cavemen
What's the
back in
double
the day.
standard? Then what's the
Y'all
double
know
standard?
better than that. That we have to be the ones that carry the majority of the weight, because that is exactly what it is.
That's
If you
not the
say
double
that you're the
standard.
provider, you're securing the household, you're making sure that I'm straight, that's also protecting me from you stressing me the
But that's
fuck
not the
out and
double
asking me
standard,
for
G.
too fucking much.
That's not the double standard I'm talking about. I understand you just went off
What's the
about
double standard?
the double standard is that y'all do not have the risk of losing the relationship if you do that. If you don't want to clean and do that, 9 times out of 10, a man's not going to leave you still. They're just going to
Oh,
still
we're back to
try.
this shit.
If a man told you, man, I hate having to protect you. I hate having to look at the security cameras. I hate having to make sure you're going to be like, what? That is your job. You are a man. Do your job. What are you talking about? If he's like, man, I hate having to provide for you. You're going to, what? You are a man. Do your job. That's what we get. And then we might even get the relationship terminated. So yes, that's a double standard that y'all are not at risk of losing a relationship if y'all don't want to do those traditional roles.
I really would love for y'all fellas, and you know what, maybe it's just personal experience, but fuck it, me and the majority of the women that I know in my life, this man that you speak of, this alpha male who's actually going out there and providing and securing and doesn't want his woman to do all of that extra shit, he actually takes a responsibility. I haven't seen him. Few and far between. I'm not going to say they don't exist, but I don't think it's as common as you say that it is.
It's not. You're right.
I
It's
really
not common.
don't.
It's not common. And that's
So
why we
then
have
what are
these
we
talks.
talking about?
No, I'm just saying that's why we have these talks, because it's not that common. It's not, and we do want to change that. We want men to work on
Right.
themselves and progress, and make sure they are able to provide for their woman fully, not just bringing in a washer and dryer. Like, we want them to be able to provide fully, just like we want our woman to be stressless. You know what I'm saying?
But
So
so
yeah,
many men, I think today, like, I don't know what the movement is called, but there's this demasculization of men in that sense, and they don't
Mhm.
want to. There's men who's absolutely like, I'm not going to pay on the first date. I'm not going to pay at all, or we got to go Dutch all the time. And there's men who really fully believe that because women are working, that somehow we're supposed to, I guess, split everything, or somehow it's supposed to be 50-50. So what is that called? Like, where does that come from?
that comes from women weaponizing their power. When not again, it's not all women, G. I'm not saying all women, but you do know there are women out there that do want to use a man, that do want to trap a man, that do want to use a man for his money, whatever they be, and they are. So
But don't
men
you
have
see
to
her
protect
coming?
themselves.
Semantics. We know that.
Don't
Yeah,
you
but
see
men
her
have to
coming?
protect
That's the
themselves.
thing, though. Like, those women don't surprise you. It's not like, oops, I'm here, trying to pull a fast one on you. You
Yeah,
usually see her coming a mile away, and you're like, come here,
very
come here,
true.
come here.
Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. I'm not saying men ain't done for that, because men do be over here like, bring your ass here, girl, and then next you know it, then everything else goes the way a woman's probably gonna plan it to go. I'm gonna use, abuse, and then I'm gonna disqualify him probably, and that happens. But that's all I'm saying is a lot more men are starting to realize it more, that women can, not that they absolutely will, but they can weaponize that want that a man has, and when they can weaponize it, that's what happens now. Just like, women weaponize it so much, we have an OnlyFans. They literally know what men are going to pay for. They know sex sells, and that's what's used. And a lot of men who are just a little bit smarter is like, no, I'm not going to give up my hard-earned money, what you value, just for me not to get something that I value. To them, it's more of a mutual. It's a transaction. They think sex is mutual, and they think anything else is just extra from a man. Women think, not all women again, but women think that sex is one-sided. It's just given to the man, and then everything else he giving me is like an equality. You give me money, I give you sex. It's a equivalent, but it's not. And man, no, sex is mutual for both of us. We both get pleased, and then my money is just extra for you. So that's how it's looked for some men, and that's why they do that 50-50 and I'm not gonna get you stuff, and that's how it's looked.
I just don't understand. Is it really that big of a deal to cook dinner for me occasionally? Is it really that big of a deal if I'm tired and I didn't get to the laundry today? Because that's what it feels like. And I want y'all to understand that I'm not okay for women attacking men. There are good men out there. I think that we need each other. That's why these conversations are so important. But I am very disappointed in a lot of y'all fellas, JR, you included, that it just seems like it's this continued, like it's the woman's job to not pick a piece of shit man. It's a woman's job to make sure she's financially secure because I can't be using you for your finances, but also I have to there's too many double standards that y'all have on the women themselves. You want me to be innocent. You don't want me to have a large body count, but you also want me to be a freak in the bed. It doesn't make sense. You understand that these are unrealistic standards placed on women as well.
Facts.
So how do we get to a place where we can respect each other, communicate thoroughly, and get what we both want out of this situation? How do we compromise?
Understanding that
And
there's
then
going to be,
another question to that is, isn't part of a man providing and a man protecting those things that G's talking about? It is cooking dinner every once in a while. It is whatever it is that takes to make her whole or feel happy. I mean, isn't that included in that definition?
yeah, with securing. You're absolutely right, though. Absolutely right. Again, I don't like saying it, but you know what I'm about to say, G. She still got to earn it. That's just what it is at the end of the day.
So do you, though. But y'all,
Yeah, but if we already there, I already earned it. If we are already that far, then I already earned it.
not for you to stop working towards it.
What you talking about?
Just because you're my husband or you're my man long term and we've been doing this thing for, I don't know, up 10 years, please do not get comfortable, because that's what kills the relationship. Do not get so comfortable in your relationship that you think that there is absolutely nothing that you can do that's going to make this person leave. That's when you start unappreciating your partner.
I agree with that, but like I said, that's that always. Guess what, men? Do what you have to do because your relationship's at risk. Bam.
Oh my
That's
God.
what that comes from.
It's not that your relationship is at risk per se, but I mean, that's your job. Like, that's your role, right? Like, that if we have role, like, that's your role. Men
Yeah.
do hard things. I'm sorry, men are built for that. That's part of being in the masculine. That's part of enjoying being a man, is the pride and the accomplishment that comes along with doing hard things. And if on any particular night that hard thing is making a dinner for your wife who's just worked a long hard day, that's makes sense to me.
No,
That makes sense to me. What she gives you in return, through the peace and the love and the nurturing and the soft space for you to arrive at, after dinner. It's mutual. It has to be.
Yeah, I am not denying that but again, if we flip it, it just doesn't look the same. And that's why I said it's the double standard. If you just so happen to get into, heavens forbid, knock on all the wood, you accidentally, a deer comes out and you run into a tree, you're going to call your man. And if he's just like, I'm just really tired, I don't, that just in general of, you're okay, just call the insurance, get it towed. Like if he does not do that, you're going to terminate the relation. He does not have wiggle room to say, I'm not going to do my role. He does not have wiggle room. Y'all have wiggle room to say, I don't feel like cleaning, I don't feel like cooking, I don't feel like doing it. And y'all are going to accept it, and men are going to accept it. I'm just saying that double standard is going to be there. So instead of saying, oh, it's not fair, understand that that is a privilege to be able to even do that and keep the relationship, because men can't. That's all I'm saying.
I don't disagree with that. I mean, I love being a woman. I wouldn't want that man's role. We absolutely do. But I think there is so much unspoken weight that comes along with being a woman. And,
Hmm.
not to take it too far back, but I mean, the whole idea about women and children going first is because like we are the creators. I mean, like the society, all of it is dependent on
A
women. And
woman. Yep.
so it's dependent on a woman. And so there's a lot of unspoken, I don't want to use the word pressure, but there's just an acknowledgement of the value that women bring. And so
Yes.
I don't think it's a matter of it being unfair. It just is the way it is. And you kind of, you need to get in where you fit in. So as a man, if you're looking at that and saying, I don't want a man to look at that and say, it's not fair that you're not allowed to do this and I can't do the same thing. But as a man, you're allowed, well, I wouldn't use the word allowed, but it's just different. It's different. And it's not, I guess the word I'm looking for is like equal. We're equal, but it doesn't have to be the same, I guess, right? Like you could look at it as being unfair, but it's still equal. Does that make sense?
No, it's you made 100% sense right there, and I agree with you 100%. I've actually said this earlier, where I said women are the most valued on this planet because they propagate society. They are, and I've always said men are expandable. Now, again, is that fair? No, but I'm not going to complain about it. I don't care that hard. I believe in natural selection, all that stuff. But at the same time, right? I just think women, instead of complaining about that, they should appreciate if that man's even going to do that. That should just be appreciation. If he's actually going to assist in your role, it should be appreciated. It shouldn't even be demanded. If he will do that, that is a big privilege. Because if it was opposite, it would not go the same way. Gee, you look confused, like you don't think that should be a privilege for them to help out.
Well, no, I don't. I think that that comes with the territory of being in a mutually beneficial relationship. And that can
Yep.
look different for anybody. Like for people who do like the traditional roles, like I get that. But don't say you want a traditional woman and expect all of these household things to get done, but then be perfectly a-okay with her going out in the workforce and potentially making more money than you. Like let's keep it at where it's at. Let's make it a little bit more realistic so that way there is a true balance, because that's why that system was put in place in the beginning anyways. And as far as your comments, and I know we've talked about it in multiple different episodes here and there about women are the ones who file for divorce. Why do we never talk about the why? Just because the woman is the one who is making that decision to actually file the paperwork, because there's a lot of layers when it comes to that. How long has the woman been compromising or in this commitment? How are there children involved? Like, there's so many reasons why a woman would be like, you know what, enough is enough. And there's also a million reasons why men, as unhappy as y'all are, instead of leaving the relationship, you would rather go step out on the marriage, or you would be miserable and also not take care of your mental health. And the relationship itself is still crumbling. So why are we faulting women for turning around and leaving if their partner isn't helping them work it out?
I wouldn't say necessarily fault, but I do understand what you're saying. I wouldn't say we fault women. If anything, women gets praised for that. If anything, honestly, I don't think we fault them at all. Now, if you're talking about just us men, do we look down on that?
Right, that's what I'm talking
Then,
about.
then
Just
yeah, of
men.
course. If you made a promise under God and then you sit there and said, "Nah, never mind," then yeah, of course we're gonna look at that a little bit differently as men. If you're sitting there saying that you're gonna be there no matter what, and you really dated off potential, and instead you wanted to leave because his potential didn't reach because he has different flaws and all this other stuff that you didn't see before, then yeah, of course we're gonna look at that a little differently. That's normal though. I don't think that should be what's wrong.
Y'all seem to only really like certain vows. Like most of you guys who have been married did not write your own vows. You're going off the textbook vows, and I don't have time to Google it, but y'all know what I'm talking about. There's a multitude of promises that you make, including being faithful in your relationship. Right? So why is it that because the man may follow one of the vows but break five of the other ones, I have to stay? You're not, what are you doing? Okay, boo-hoo, me, I got up and left because you haven't been keeping your promises the entire time. Why do you only care about that one vow?
You're absolutely. I'm not. First of all, I don't know what the normal vow is. I didn't know that was in the vows, to be honest with you. So I got to go research the vows, like
Oh
even just
Lord.
the most. the basic generic vows. I got to go look at that. I didn't know it said, what I'm saying, don't step out in your marriage or anything like that. Not saying that's important. I'm just saying I don't know if it says that or not. I got to go back and look. But I get what you're saying, though. I get what you're saying. There's a lot of reasons why women do leave the relationship, though. There is, though. But if men wanted, if men left for every time they were upset or disappointed or felt belittled, betrayed, disrespected, whatever it may be, you're right. Men would probably have more divorces than women if we left every time we felt that way, unappreciated and everything.
In a sense, y'all do leave in a sense when you're stepping out on your marriage for those exact reasons.
I don't think a lot of men want to end a relationship just because they stepped out. I think the very opposite. I think men don't want to leave even if they stepped out, to be honest with you.
No, but stepping out is leaving. It's a form of leaving.
Thank you.
I gotta.
Stepping out is a form of leaving. It's not. Yeah.
Let me hear that.
What's that?
How does that work? Let me hear that.
How does that work?
Yeah, because in a relationship, a man's going to give a lot more than what he's just going to give stepping out.
Wait.
It doesn't mean you're not leaving. That doesn't mean you're not leaving.
Hold on. He gives a lot more to the relationship than what he's getting when he steps out.
Or what he's giving when he steps out is what I'm saying. Like, the relationship is more prioritized than when he goes out. Like, if I want to go cheat, she getting sex, but this one's getting so much more. So what is it? How does that look if I'm leaving her? How is that even a form of like leaving her if I'm still giving her everything that I valued?
So as long as your woman cooks and cleans at home and carries half of the emotional weight, she can step out because she's just having sex with dude and she's doing all the household duties at home?
Hell no.
Of course not. Of course not. That's what triggered y'all on Tuesdays live when we asked the question, well, why can't we do it? But that's a valid question because y'all will minimize it so much and y'all minimize women. Again, if y'all don't get triggered, fellas, I'm talking about certain experiences, some men. If it's not you, thank you for your service. But a lot of men will minimize women as a whole. Then you amplify it when it comes to that. Like, no, you got to be better than me, but you don't treat me like I'm better than you. So what are we doing? And I really think that's like, I want women to value men. I want men to value women. I want people to value other people. Damn it. That's the goal for me. Like, enough with the word salad, enough with the back and forth, because someone in the comments was like, I feel like we're talking in circles because there's no real root to it. Just be good to each other, communicate clearly, and we'll be okay.
Actually love, like it comes down to, yes, like appreciate and respect other people, but appreciate and respect yourself. And like, as we've been talking, like what's missing, I feel, is like the actual action of love. Who cares what the roles are? Who cares what the titles are? Who cares what the split of the responsibilities are? Where's love in all of this? It seems that the conversation gets boiled down to who's doing what and keeping score, and that is the absolute opposite of what love is. I mean, you could be in a marriage and there could be decades where things are completely lopsided, and that's completely okay because things will balance out and you love each other. And so like in these moments when we are finding ourselves frustrated with whatever the imbalances are, do you love that person? Like, just bring it back. Bring it back to the whole reason that you get together in the first place, is just because you love each other. And I think the problem is that both men and women aren't looking at relationships for love. We are looking at it for what we can get out of it. And when you come in contact with those people, your personal standards to say, you're not for me. Even if he comes with a big paycheck, even if she's willing to, not work and just be 100% domesticated, if she's not approaching you and we aren't approaching each other with the idea that I'm here to, like, love is just about giving. Being in a marriage is 100% about giving and not keeping score. If you can approach the relationship with that, I don't need you. You don't need each other. And there's other transactional type things you can do that don't require all of the words and the emotions going back and forth. Just call it what it is. But if you're going to try to approach a relationship, you have to be open. You just have to be open and give, and not worry about what you get back in return. Like, honestly.
Damn. Can I mansplain that to these men? Build the foundation is what she said. Because she said that so
They
deep, I
understood
need
her.
y'all to get that shit. Build the real foundation. Don't build it off of dumb stuff like how much money you make and what can you do for me. Build it off of genuine connection. Do this person really put the effort in to understand you? God damn, Cassandra, that was deep as shit.
That was very good.
Thank you. No,
I do want to tap in to the comments really quickly. Thank you guys for commenting. It's a really good back and forth conversation. If I didn't get to your comments, I apologize, but you are constantly being featured on our screen right there under Miss Cassandra. If y'all haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. Like the episode, share the episode with a friend. All right, get everybody in on this conversation. It's a good one. Jeff, welcome in. Jeff said social media has distorted the reality and made girls that are 5 to 6s feel like 8s. I don't disagree. I do agree, although I disagree with rating people, but I get what you're saying. Not where the comment said it's super rare to find a woman who is a breadwinner. Debatable. Savage said, I can't speak for others, but if I lose my job, I'm still pulling them. A lot of men can still pull without a job. Andra said, at Aaron, that goes back to where you are in a relationship, because if you with them, then they rocking with you, job or not. Aaron said, facts are not worth a comment. Savage Khan said, facts, Andra. Aaron said, and see, that's why some men are different. I lose my job. I don't even want to date shit no more. I get that. Just when a chica said men will stray if and when they have the chance/time. Also true. Savage said you're looking in the wrong tax bracket at not worth a comment. LOL. Oh shit. Shots fired. Wait a minute. Oh, not worth a comment said, what is love nowadays? Social media has ruined that. How do human properly welcome in? He said you got to accept the uncomfortable truths in order to get along. I agree. We have to be willing to sometimes agree to disagree and understand each other and listen for sure. Savage Khan said, men have 3 types of women in their lives: a freak, a friend, and a wife. A freak want to be a wife, but she only the freak, and the friend is there because the wife be tripping and not understanding sometimes. What the hell? Somehow I get it. But what the hell, Savage? Not with the comment said, OMG, she said what I was waiting to hear this whole time. Yeah, she's definitely spitting. He said, can I gift her shit? Laugh my eyes. No, but you can share the episode so she can get more views. That's what you can do. Make sure you share it with everybody. All right. Andra said, compromise, communication, love, trust, loyalty, and support are the basis of a great relationship that will stand the test every time. All right, Colorscapes, what's up? Welcome in. In other words, drama. Oh, shit. Savage said, I just subscribed tonight. LOL. Savage, now, no, hold on. JR, hit the what the fuck button.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Savage, you've been coming on this live for how many motherfucking lives has Savage been coming in on?
I plead the fifth.
You've been in here raising my blood pressure and shit, making me get into a gender war and this motherfucker clipping this shit, and you ain't even subscribed to the channel. You see, that's crazy. I do appreciate the subscribe now, though. I guess you just had to make sure, you got commitment issues, Savage. I get it. I understand. I'm a woman. Why would you trust me? Thank you for the subscribe. And she said, hey, y'all, I can't pronounce your name, but hello, how are ya? Aaron said, great show tonight. Thank you. Aaron is one of my old friends from college, so shout out University of the Cumberlands. All right. Thank you for hopping in. I really, truly appreciate the support. You guys have no idea how much that means to me. Savage said, I love y'all, though. For real, for real. We love you, too, Savage. You get on my nerves, but we love you. And that's what a relationship is all about, damn it. Like Cassandra said. Shoot. Man, I don't even know what next question to ask in this case. Go ahead, JR. Go ahead.
So, look, because I really want to bring it back to the B4 stuff, because it upsets me a little bit. And
does it?
So there's another thing that just happened, right? And it was not trying to go political, but of course we already know our president is doing some stuff, and Colombia didn't like it. And Colombia women had said that they were done having sexual intercourse with Americans until Trump fixes his stuff. Again, weaponizing sex to try to get what they want. I want to hear it from you women. What approach would you do instead of weaponizing sex to get what you want as a whole? If you can say all women, we're going to make a change to do something together. Let's say we're going to make a change to stop men from trying to look at us as just sexual objects. What is it that you're going to do in that aspect? to try? Like, what would you give the advice to the masses of women? All women about to follow you. How are you going to lead them?
Take it away, Cassandra.
Well, I would say, first of all, I'm assuming the women who were throughout this ultimatum are part of like sex tourism, right? Like they're not just your regular everyday person like me and G, who's just like, we're not gonna. I don't think that's.
Well,
That's interesting to me. But
I agree.
to answer your question, what would I do? It's never about getting anyone else to do anything. I have zero interest in trying to make a man do one thing or another. It's all about my personal standards. And so I'm going to show up to me the way I need to show up to me, and everyone will take note from there. I can't do enough to really truly get a man to change. Like you can't. The only thing you can do is stand in your sovereignty and stand in your self-love, and they take note. Because here's the thing, men will fold. Men will fold. Men come back. They do. They do. I'm just saying that. I mean, we all know it. I'm G. You know, you guys circle the block like hella times.
Mm-hmm.
You do. And so it's not a matter of us needing to do anything to get you. And it's not even that you have these standards with that intention, knowing that you're going to circle the block. That's not why we do it. But you need to do anything because that is, again, it's your personal standards. And so I'm not out here trying to make anyone do anything. I'm trying to live my best life. And that comes down to how I treat myself. And I think that's really the problem, at the root of the problem with the 4B movement, and any woman who feels like she's got to do all these external things in order to somehow whip men into shape, is that she's not treating herself kindly. She's triggered as fuck. She's acting out. She needs love, and it starts with herself. She's not giving herself the love she needs, and so she's so prepared to like scorch the earth, in the absence of her feeling that. But if she were to, next month is February. It's Black History Month. It's Self-Love Month. It'd be a good time for these 4B women to start practicing self-love. And I would imagine a lot would change from there. That would be a good first step.
Yeah, I agree with that. I definitely do. I think if I could add on to what she was saying, I think it is reclaiming our power in our femininity. Kind of similar to her. You can't control what a man does, but when we are soft and we are in our feminine, it is a lot easier to get a man to want to do things for you or to see your point of view or understand you. At least in my experience, that there's the quote off of My Big Fat Greek Wedding where she says the man is the head, the woman is the neck. Women, we control a lot more than what you may think when we are empowered by our femininity. So I think it's just taking it a step back and being okay with that. Stop trying to compete with a man. You cannot combat masculinity with more masculinity. That's just a losing battle. There's power in your feminine. That comes with compromising. We know how to talk. We know how to convince people. So use that, ladies.
You said that so beautifully. That's exactly what it is. It's revisiting our femininity. It's letting that essence like dominate and rule how we show up to ourselves in the world and to men. Men can't say no to a soft woman. They can't. You can't. You can't.
Can't do it. I can't do it. Unless it has to do with money. But other than money, I can't do it. I need help.
Oh, gosh.
But I mean true softness, not like manipulation, not like, with her hand out. I mean truly in her feminine.
Exactly.
So let me ask y'all this real quick though, right? Because men want that too. Don't get us like we really do. We love that. I think it's instinctual for a man to want to protect women in general. If a woman's walking down the street and somebody does something to her, men are gonna run up because it's instinctual for us to want to protect women. Why do women see that as weak though? And that's what I feel like is happening. They see femininity as submissiveness and submissiveness as weak. They don't see the power in it. Why do y'all think that is?
Well, one, femininity is submissiveness. It's submissiveness and surrender. But what that's not is, what is that word? It's not, I just lost it. It's not being passive. I'm sorry, it's not being passive. So femininity in its true essence, it's all about receiving, right? That is surrendering, that is being submissive, but it's not about being passive. And I think that we haven't had a lot of good leaders and teachers about what femininity looks like and what it feels like and how to be empowered by standing in your feminine. Being feminine and being I am happy to say that I'm a submissive wife. I'm happy to say that I'm a surrendered wife, but that doesn't mean I don't have a voice. That doesn't mean my husband does not hear from me on a multitude of things. But at the end of the day, he is the head and he will make the decision, and I'll respect that decision. But I've been taught the power that I have with my voice and in using that from a feminine perspective in navigating life together. But we aren't taught the power of being in receivership, and so we co-opt masculinity and try to take it on, and some of us do it well, but it costs us a lot, and that cost most women aren't willing to talk about. You might have the titles, you might have the business, you might have all the flashy things, but you're hurting inside. These women who are shaking their heads in order to repel men and all the other things that they're doing, they're hurting inside. That is literally a cry for help. That's what that is. And I don't know if they'll see it that way, but to circle back to your question, there's just not enough women since the feminist movement, back in the 60s that embody their femininity to teach this generation what it looks like. And when you started talking about what the demographics of this 4B movement and it being the young ones, that makes perfect sense, because there are a couple of generations after having feminist mothers and feminist grandmothers. Like, it makes sense that they're tired and burnt out and completely detached and removed from what it means to be a woman. So shaving your head and being reckless like that, not for a fashion, personal kind of but just as a part of rebellion, that speaks to a true disconnection from what being a woman is. Being a feminist is not being feminine. And I don't think that that's fully understood.
I like that. That was a mic drop moment right there.
That's deep.
For sure. I do want to tap back into the comments. If anybody wants to take advantage, we do have that call-in feature on our Discord. All right, it's moderated. We do limit it to about like a 30-second question, and then you're off you go. And then we're going to discuss it just to make sure everybody has a chance. So if you want to call in, now is the time to do it, because we are about to get into my favorite part of the episode, which is final thoughts. But before we do that, I am going to tap back in to the comments. Ramses, welcome in. He said, women are naturally opportunistic. A lot are always looking for the upgrade. I mean, I think everybody in life is looking for an upgrade. Aaron said, you got to have me on so I can tell our college stories. Oh, shit, Aaron, you trying to get Life with G podcast canceled. But I'm with it. I'm with the shits. Not where the comment said, for the right one, she ain't live. Aaron said, facts. Not where the comment said, yeah, it's called respect. Yeah, we do respect you. I want y'all to respect us as well, damn it. Not where the comment said, when a real woman walks into the room, men snap to attention. Ramses said 4B movement is a direct response to the hypermasculinity that was happening in South Korea. They have crazy rampant domestic abuse and sexual assault. Yes, that is one of the facts with the 4B. Again, but then that also speaks with, not saying that doesn't happen here, but it's like, I wish people wouldn't just jump on the bandwagon and make sure they have a full understanding of why something is even happening before they say me too. Just when Chica said there's a reason why scientifically, genetically, women are more sensitive to most things. Yes. Ramses says South Korea has some of the most outrageous gender norms and their society protects the men socially and legally. Yeah, I think compared to us, it might seem like it goes back in time a little bit when it comes to that. So that's, again, another motivation for why they came up with that movement. Not where the comment said, speak for yourself. These young ones putting everyone in a box. I'm just playing. Aaron said, what's the number? So it is in Discord. You can see the instructions in the description. So you do need to have a Discord, but it is free. If you don't already have one, join the waiting room. And then someone will be with you shortly. Let us know in the comments when you are in there.
So I got a question though, because y'all really opened my mind. All right, you women really opened my mind, and I appreciate y'all for that. See, look, G, no, don't you start with that. I said you women too strong, didn't I? Is that what I did? Then you know what?
I'm going to be soft and feminine. I'm going to receive whatever message you have for us right now.
This is the big, I think it's a contradiction. I think I don't like it and I don't know how to change it, and it upsets me, right? When a woman is feminine and, as you say, surrenders, and she is loved in that matter, like in that she's not publicized. So in my mind, I'm like, where's that woman, what's what I'm looking for? Figure, or I forgot the word. I'm really losing that word right now. Role model. There we go. That role model for women. Like, where is that woman? Who can women look up to and say, that's what I need to be? And it contradicts, because it's like, if they are that, they're probably going to be not public. They're not going to be embarrassing their relationship. They're not going to be out there all the time. Where's the
Not
woman?
true, Papa.
That's the question. Who's that woman?
You got one on screen right here, and it is at Cassandra_Juniphant. And she is public, and she is out there, and she is strong in her femininity, and she's a good fucking role model.
I'm not trying to say that. I'm talking about the one that society puts in front of the people.
On the big
That's what I'm
stage.
saying. Like I want a movement for that. That's what I want the movement for.
I don't think positive people get as much traction as the negativity and the drama and the loudness and the craziness. So I think that when it comes to that, it's not that there's an absence of women who have a big following that follow those things. It's just they're not celebrated as much. And that's a society thing. We can't really, it's who y'all make popular. It's what y'all care about, which is why we have conversations like this, to shift the mindset. You know what I'm saying? I get what you're saying. There is a lack of that in the large scheme of things, but that's because a lot of these girls don't want to hear that. They want to square up with the boys. They want to go out. They want to have a two-man? Girls doing a two-man? Ladies, stop it. Cut it out. Shit like that. You know what I'm saying? That's what they're glamorizing.
Yeah, and the same thing goes for men. You don't see a lot of happily married men out there flashing their ring, talking about, we are referred to as the old ball and chain and all the other stereotypes that you hear, on social media. But I will say that there are some of those women out there, and they're called trad wives, and they are getting eaten up alive on social media for being a trad wife is short for traditional wife. And you can search that on TikTok, on Instagram, and it's overdone on social media. I will say, it's the most. It's the couture gowns while, making homemade everything. So it can be triggering for a lot of women. But the concept of what you're talking about does exist, and there are a few who've made it. I think it's fun. I love watching those videos when I come across of the trad wives doing all the traditional things. Really triggering for women. If you read the comments under those videos, they are getting this eaten up, blasted. It's ugly. It's ugly in those comments. And but it's not for lack of a role model. It's not for lack of women, saying that I really value my role in my marriage as being the feminine and being the nurturer and being the one who receives. It's not for lack of saying those things.
Right.
I like that. I think we need to support that a little bit more. But that goes back to what I said earlier when I say I don't think women really rocking with other women like that. I mean, I know y'all, examples of women in front of your face, they're going to be that way. I personally think that women aren't really they don't like conflict. I personally think that. They don't really like conflict, so they rather, avoid it. But just like you said, a woman doing the good stuff, the great stuff, being valued by her man in that way too, possibly. And some women probably overdo it, but ultimately the message total is a beautiful thing. Women are bashing it, and it's like, why are y'all bashing? Why are y'all bashing good stuff? What do you want? And I think that's the biggest disconnect, and I don't like it.
And I think a part of it, whether they realize it, whether it's conscious or unconsciously, I think a lot of women see that, and it's a classic case of I want that for myself, and I don't have that. Now, obviously, I'm not trying to say they just jealous, they're just haters, but I think a lot of women internalize whatever experience they've had with men. And because there is, unfortunately, a whole opposite movement with the male population right now. So these girls out here are not really benefiting when they try to practice being traditional. They're not getting the old school guys in that generation. So now there's resentment. And now it's Bitch, what do you mean you got an apron on and you wanted to go to Hawaii and all he got you was an apron for your eggs? That was something that was viral, and they flamed her up, they flamed him up, and they were like, "Oh, she's got to be miserable. She's basically on house arrest." Like women have trouble even processing that that's real life, and a lot of stuff is fabricated on social media or dramatized as well. So some of that might be them just putting on airs, but I think because of their personal experience, it's very hard for them to believe that something like that is actually working for someone.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, you see that in the comments. You see them projecting, oh, I bet he's beating her behind the scenes, and I bet this, and you see all sorts of things. You can tell it's just a projection. They're mistrusting of what they see because of their personal experience. They can't separate.
I agree.
Yeah.
Now that I know about trad wives, I'm definitely gonna tap in. I'm gonna start giving them love and because we need more of them. We need more of them. Women think like that, and we need to glorify them because that's what men want. So if women want it and men want it, let's do it.
I think that's what women want, though, too. I mean, women are tired. Like, we talked about the 4B movement, and that's kind of extreme. But just if you take your regular everyday feminist here in America, like, she's tired. She's tired. She's worn out. She's overwhelmed. She's stressed out. Like, I don't think we want this. I think it sounded good for a period of time, but here we are a few generations later, and we're unhealthier than ever. Yes, we might be making more money, but how how valuable is that? Like, can you really call that success? When you're unhealthy and alone as
The
a
quality
result
of
of,
life. What's
no,
the
for
point
sure.
in living longer when the quality of life is deteriorated? Yeah.
We've over-indexed on what success is, or what we consider to be valuable. We put money and a title so high up there that even if it's at the expense of our health and having relationships, like for some reason that's worth it. I'm like, that's not true.
Yeah.
That's not true, but the amount of work that's required, the amount of internal work, and that's another thing, is that we're so prepared to go out of the house and do all of this work for somebody else. Or even if we run our own business, we're so prepared to put in that level of work, but we're not willing to do the internal work that's really what's needed in order to heal and, kind of bring the sexes back together again.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's beautiful.
We do have Aaron waiting in the waiting room. Thank you so much for calling in. Really quickly, Aaron, just a reminder, we're going to cap that question at 30 to 45 seconds. Also, make sure that you mute the YouTube video if you're watching it because there is like a lag, there is a delay, so it'll confuse your audio. Make sure to mute the YouTube video and only, not y'all in the comments, y'all stay put, but Aaron, make sure you mute the YouTube video. And while we wait for him to join, y'all be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't joined the family already. What the fuck are you waiting for? Y'all are having a good time, right? Join the family. Hi, Aaron.
What up?
Hi. It is so crazy to hear your voice on the fucking podcast after all these years.
How you doing?
I'm good. Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. What's your question? What's up, man?
How you been, G? And first, Cassandra, you made some good points. My boy JR, you did good tonight too. I agree with a bunch of things both of y'all said.
Thank you.
But my real question is, y'all spoke a lot about men, but y'all didn't speak about how it is good men out here, and a lot of women really fumble the bag.
Repeat that last part. A lot of women really do what?
Fumble the bag when they get a good man.
Okay, Aaron, stay put for a second. I was gonna
Okay.
kick you out, but I have a follow-up question on that because I thought we definitely said we love the fellas. I thought we talked about there being
No, we didn't
good
go
men as
on
well.
it. Y'all didn't go on the topic of the women.
Okay. Okay, so
You gotta
you
talk about the
mentioned
women.
that women fumble the bag. I'm assuming that you're referring with what you would consider a good man. Most of these women are
Correct.
fumbling the bag. Okay. So I gotta
Uh-huh.
ask you a question.
Okay.
Oh shit.
Can you give me an example of them fumbling the bag? What does that look like?
A woman that's not able to really fulfill her womanly duties with a man that can take care of the household. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Because
So
it's a lot.
womanly. Mhm.
It's a lot of people men that take care of the household, do all that, uh, pay for the nails, hair. You do your thing.
True.
But it's a lot of women that don't know how to handle that in return.
So more like the roles are reversed. The man is super willing to help and be a teammate per se, and these women are more so taking advantage of it and not wanting to do any of the traditional roles of a wife or a female partner. Is that what you're saying?
Correct. That's
Okay.
what.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I have seen that as well. I have seen that as well. So shit. Let's get into it. Thank you, Aaron, for your question. Fellas, sound off in the comments. Have y'all encountered a woman who's not holding up her end of the bargain? And what do y'all fellas think about that? Jr. How many women have you experienced that you would consider have fumbled the bag?
Look, I'm gonna be 100% with you, and I'm rocking with my boy Aaron. I'm rocking with him. But bro, I'm gonna tell you now, you wrong. I'm just gonna be honest with you. You wrong. And the reason why is because if you are doing all this stuff for your woman while she is still not doing the duties, then you are absolutely wrong as a man. You are wrong for even allow her to use you in that way. You do not love yourself and respect yourself if you are allowing her to disrespect your relationship that you control. You're the leader of the relationship. You the leader. She's your responsibility. You saying you doing all this stuff, that means you have the authority. But if you don't have the authority, then you really just a slave, and that's on you. You got to end that relationship, bro. You got to. But men, again, we really don't, and that's on you. And I'm trying to get men to release these women more. Women like that, you got to release them more if they not going to appreciate you for doing what you're doing. So they not really fumbling the bag. They fumbling who? Somebody who don't respect themselves, somebody who don't love themselves. Nah, bro, you just gotta, like, as a man, you gotta work on yourself.
I don't know how I feel about that, but I'm also not a professional. Cassandra, what do you think about JR's comments in response to that? That these men don't love themselves and they're not all the shit you just said. And stop talking to my friend like that, JR.
He cool. I'm rocking with Aaron. I'm just saying,
I
not
got your
him,
bag, Aaron.
but if it was somebody else in that
And he
predicament.
didn't say him. He just said we haven't talked about women fumbling the bag. Who he? I mean, if they fumble the bag in his mind, that means he done left her, right? But sometimes, anyways, Cassandra, what's your thought process on JR's response to that?
I really felt some type of way when JR sort of first started talking, but I mean, you make perfect sense. No, you're absolutely correct, though. And I would say if places were reversed, I'd say a similar thing to a woman that if a man's, eating off of you, spending all your money, driving your car, doing all of those things, I'd be like, sis, this is an internal job. This is not, he's not really actually doing anything wrong. Like you teach people how to, you teach people how to treat you. You teach people how to love you. And if you are accepting that behavior, you're teaching them that that's behavior that you accept. And that goes back to the personal standards that I, started the conversation off talking about. It really does come down to. So for Aaron, yeah, I don't know that that's an example of fumbling the bag as much as it is an example of doing, like JR said, doing the work so that you're really owning that leadership position and being clear about what your expectations are and being clear about what it takes for her to show you love. And it's not about, and again, we keep defaulting to these roles, but it's like, here's my love languages. Here's how I feel loved. Here's how I receive love. Here's how I understand love. These are the things that you can do to show me you appreciate me. These are the things that you can do to show me that you care. It's not just because you're a woman, you should do that or do this. It's just, this is what love looks like in my house. And if I'm doing this to show you love, because I understand this is your love language, where's the reciprocity? I think that's a conversation that, a man needs to have. But I will say that as far as fumbling the bag, he's not wrong. I almost fumbled the bag with my husband because I had come out of, unfortunately, too many unsavory relationships. And by the time I met my husband, even though I was marriage minded and I was looking for a man as good as he truly, truly is, I kept telling him, you're such a good guy. You're such a good guy. And 3 times 3 times I kept trying to give us some space and walk away and just not sure, honestly, how to
Mm.
receive such a good man. And I remember the last time I said that to him was because my husband, my boyfriend at the time, took me by the shoulders and shook me and said, "You deserve a good man." And it took me
Mm.
back. I had to digest what he was saying because, and a lot of women aren't ready for this conversation, is that we're out there talking about all the things that we want in a man. And then when he arrives, are you able to see him? Are you able to receive him? Can your body adjust from running off of cortisol and stress and
Yes.
scarcity and adjust to peace and happiness and being constantly watered and poured into? That's a fucking mind fuck. If you have not gone through, not being properly loved to being properly loved, it's not as easy. And that took a lot of work for
Mhm.
me to do. That was me sitting with myself. That was me crying. That was me journaling. That was me doing all the work to be able to receive the magnificence that is my husband. But he literally had to shake it into me. But he took a leadership role, and I love him beyond words for having the gall and the boldness and the masculine energy to like shake the shit into me.
Mhm. Yeah.
Damn, I
That's
love that.
Yeah, and that's really powerful. I think shit, I myself I'm listening to you talk about it and I'm like, shit, I feel like that's what's wrong with me. I think I'm addicted to the extreme highs and the extreme lows. And it's almost like if there's peace, I don't know what to do in that space of peace. And sometimes I will start looking for shit. I'm working on it. I'm not fully delivered. I will be though. I will be with
Now,
God. Literally. What, JR?
that
What?
would be an example of fumbling the bag, is what I'm saying. That would be
Oh
the
yeah.
example, is when you let yourself as a woman get in, you know what I'm saying, from a good guy. And a good guy isn't just a man who pedestalizes women and do whatever for a woman. That's not a good guy. A good guy is a guy who's going to keep that woman accountable of everything, life, her goals, her future, what her
Yeah.
intentions are. A man who keeps a woman accountable is a good guy. And if you fumble that bag, then yes, I can sit there and go after women for that. But
Yeah,
if you just being used, bro, I just can't think of the same way.
yeah.
So, Cassandra, you mentioned like your body chemistry even can be affected from like being in a more toxic relationship versus
Oh my
a
God.
healthy one. I'm really interested on that, especially like to because I think it further expands potentially on Aaron's question. So, do you feel like our initial attraction to a man, if we are not used to good men, could quite literally be like we just crave the toxic person. It's less about us not actually being capable of being attracted to the good man.
We have to learn. One, we have to really decide what we want, first of all. It's like, do you really
Mhm,
want a relationship and a good man or not? But then we have to learn um what attraction to a good man looks like. So one of the things that I was
mm,
used to was the butterflies and that what are you call we call it the butterflies, we call it something else, but like the vibe, right? Like the vibe needs
mhm,
to be
mhm.
there.
Oh,
The vibe
okay.
the
Got
vibe
it.
is different with a good guy versus the guy that like you're trying. I think there's we look at I'll speak for myself. I was looking at men in like two different ways. There was a guy that gave me all the butterflies and there was the vibe, but that really was like fight or flight kicking in my body, right? Like those
Mhm.
butterflies, like that's the energy of fight or flight, literally like running through your body. It's like, ooh, I wonder what we're gonna do, what he can do. There's all of these
Yeah.
questions about like getting him. There's all these questions about like getting him versus with my husband and not feeling that way. It was more a feeling of wanting to get to know him. It was a different, there were no butterflies around the investment that I was making in trying to understand him. I was really curious and really interested. And because I
Mhm.
was, and I think I was thinking that kind of energy I was used to feeling around like friends and other people that
Mhm.
you have more, I don't know, other types of relationships with. But yeah, it's a dude get used to I had to learn the difference between the feeling of attraction for like what's the word? Like for reasons that don't have anything to do with relationship and marriage versus the
Mhm.
reasons, you do. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah. It
It's just
does.
it is. It's a very different energy in the body. Very, very different sensations. And I don't think unless we feel that sizzle and all that stuff, we feel like, oh, he's not the one. We're just friends. Something must be wrong. But it's like, no, that's where you really have a chance to get to know somebody without all of the other things clouding your brain. And going back to what Jay Eyre was saying in the beginning about like laying that foundation, like that's where the foundation is laid. But when we're trying to lay a foundation on top of vibes and lay a foundation on top of, all of that energy and that sizzle, like it's just a little less stable, I think.
Yeah.
Not that you don't have a deep, deep attraction. This is different than attraction. It's that other energy that we often look for to be the sign that something might be here. But I really feel like that's stress, like it's low grade stress that's
Oh my
that's
God. I need to go
as
to therapy. Oh
I
shit.
mean, that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. But I will tell you that the chemical cocktail that goes on in your body is completely different from when you are with someone that has you feeling all those feelings versus somebody being your peace. My husband is my peace. I didn't feel I was literally like deeply rooted and deeply grounded in his presence versus kind of like being alert and on and you
Yeah.
know, do you know what I'm talking about? Like it's different. It's
Yeah,
different.
I might be like low key an adrenaline junkie because I swear,
That's the
like
word.
in my mind, I have sold myself this delusion that that means it's just like super passionate, super like I've always had this saying of like my love life, my relationships is like a telenovela. For those of you who know that span a little Espanol for you, that's like a Spanish soap opera. And if y'all have seen soap operas, those are dramatic, but it's nothing compared to a telenovela, okay? And that's how a lot of my relationships are, like the cheating scandals, the big dramatic fight, the makeup sex. Like it's all those things and I'll be like, I just want peace, but then there's this little person on my right shoulder that's like, don't you want a little bit of the toxic? And I got to work on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. I think we all do. Self-sabotage is so real. It's so
Mm,
real. And it's there's layers to it, like there's so many
yeah.
layers to it. I'm a newlywed now, so like we're just over 1 year of being married, and I still, find myself like poking at him sometimes, or there's little things like, oh, we're too happy. You're just too happy.
Yeah.
It's too good. It's too good. Come on, give me like, and it's not like a big dramatic thing. It's just little things
Right,
that I
right,
still.
right.
It's the new layers that I'm arriving at, like it's breaking through that comfort zone and
Mm,
it's like it's an ongoing internal job, but that's what I signed up for. Like I wanted to grow with somebody. I wanted
yeah.
someone to love me through this growth, right? And
Yeah.
having a real man, it gives me the space and the time to do that. But and bless his heart because we're crazy. We're crazy, we're crazy, we're crazy, we're emotional. Like I don't
We
know how he
are.
does it. I really don't. Like that's what
Trust
I'm
me.
saying. Like I give men
It's a
all the
lot of
praise.
work.
Thank you.
There's all the praise. Oh, we are out there,
And we
but
still got to make dinner and wash the clothes and stuff. I'm never mind. My
Stop
bad. I'm
it.
sorry. My bad. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry.
Hey,
Oops.
you
But
just
yeah, for
gotta
any
say
women
something.
that are watching though, it really like that self-sabotage when a good guy comes around is a real thing. And fumbling the brag is totally, yeah, that's real.
But
That's
y'all
real.
got to watch out for those men because these men be thinking they good guys all because they have good intentions, but that ain't
Mm,
enough. I'm going to tell y'all now,
No.
it's not enough. You have to find a man that's going to produce results. He has to produce results. All because he love you strong don't mean that's enough. So stop falling for just that he loves me though. Nah, he got to do everything else because that love only going to take you so far. You need
so far.
more. You need more.
I would
Damn.
say I tell women date older and find a man who already has wins under his belt. Find a man who's already,
Mm,
a little bit ahead of you just in life in general so that he has that foundation. He has those things that he's identified, like he knows who he is. He knows who
Right.
he is. And it's not that we, can't fall in love with a man who doesn't know who he is and is finding himself, because that's absolutely possible as well. I'm not saying that that's not possible, but
Mm-hmm.
I think it's easier for a man to lead when he's been there and done that on a few things, and isn't trying to figure out, loving himself, then in turn to be able to love you. I think it really helps when there's a little bit of maturity, more maturity there, in order to be a leader in a relationship.
I say it every single time. I do. I say it every time. Thank you. Women don't build; they move in. Men, make sure
Yeah.
they're moving into something that you have built. That's it.
100%.
Build, men.
100%.
God dang, work on yourself. Bums.
100%.
Oh, sorry.
I would like to think I'm a little bit of a construction worker, just a little bit. I think I build.
Well, no, you
in my own
amplify.
right. You know what I'm saying?
You women, you
Hell
amplify.
yeah, I'm gonna
Definitely
add
good
on like the
women.
banister and shit.
Yeah.
Like you work on the foundation, I'm gonna add all the decorations. I'm gonna razzle dazzle that motherfucker, and then it's gonna be real nice.
Exactly. That's all we want. I mean, don't get me wrong. A lot of these men want you to build with them too, but those men, they got them they mindset wrong. Like y'all men got to go get it for yourself. Get it for yourself, and then the byproduct is gonna be good woman, and she's gonna I always say it. Men are already at 100% without a woman, but a woman's gonna get you to 150. Now you really competing out there. Now you really winning with a woman. Like that's how much you need to be able to win. Is you need a woman. You know what I'm saying? And that's gonna get you way higher. A good woman, excuse me, not just any woman, because you can't, but a good woman. You know what
You
I'm
just
saying?
got it. I thought
let's
you were
not
just gonna let the compliment land. Damn.
But let's not forget the power of a good man behind a woman, though, too. You know
Exactly.
what I mean? Like a man
Absolutely.
is our piece. Like having a man that is a provider, and having a man that is a protector. Like it puts a woman in a place of like, it opens the world up to you. Like I remember when we
Yeah.
first got married, and even to a certain degree today, I felt like I got wings. My husband gave
Yeah.
me wings. Like I literally feel like I can fly, and
Aww.
like I'm soaring, but it's because of how he invests in me and loves me and treats me, and that's what a good man does. And I remember seeing
Absolutely.
this video. Have you guys heard of Uncle Nearest whiskey?
No,
The
I haven't
black
heard of that.
owned $1 billion. Oh my gosh. Okay. Do you
Yeah, I
drink
gotta look it up.
whiskey?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Oh well. So there's a woman. So Uncle Nearest is a black woman owned whiskey brand. It's the fastest growing brand. Just hit over $1 billion. Like she's killing it right now in the
Wow.
market. There's a lot to be proud of there. But when she's been given her flowers, she thanks her husband. She turns around and
Mm,
thanks her husband, a black woman, in front of everyone, and makes it really, really clear. I am here because I stand on his shoulders. I am here because of the wings he's given her to fly, that there would be no Uncle Nearest. The way that she's dominating right now and making it look so good is because her
man,
husband has her back. She's so clear. She's so clear about it. And so there's a role model for you that I wish more
I
women
love
um,
that.
would see. When I saw her speech, it'll bring you to tears. I tell you, like she's unapologetic in her love and admiration and honor and like reverence for her husband.
Mm,
Damn, that's
It's
I
beautiful.
beautiful.
love that. That's
Yeah.
so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. I mean, y'all need to look that up. I need to look that up as
Yeah.
well. I do want to tap in really briefly with the comments. Aaron, I'm gonna let you come back in just a second, and we gotta wrap it up. Final thoughts, cause I'm a mother and shit, and I gotta get up early tomorrow. um, not with the comments said red flags at G. That's crazy. I said I'm working on it. The first step is knowing that you have a problem. I have self awareness. I don't catch it all the time before it happens. Poor JR, he's been victim to it as well. But afterwards, at least I'm like, hey, you know what? My bad. My bad. That was me. I take accountability. That's the first step. So don't judge me. Not worth the comment. Ramses said, or finding another woman to fill what the last one left. Okay, then. Aaron said, add me back. We got you, buddy. Savage said, finally someone said it. Andra said, I need to date older ASAP. Savage said, don't fuck it up or us fellas looking for a cougar, damn it. Man, y'all are crazy. Just when a chica said, ooh, that's kind of hard as women, as a woman in your 40s. Yeah, that's true. Aaron said, add me back in. Oh, I'm reading them. Like, I'm sorry, but is he still in the waiting room with us?
Yeah.
Okay. and just
Wait,
said
what's
that's someone
hard
who's
for a
got your
woman in
back.
her 40s? What was that comment about? The woman in her
I
40s.
think
It's hard to
I
find an
think
older man, is what
Like,
she was
I'm
saying.
a
yeah,
woman in
yeah,
my
yeah.
40s.
Yeah,
To find an older man.
when she means older man, she means maturity. It's not just specific age.
Yeah.
It's the total package. Now, don't get me wrong. When you're really
For sure.
young, an older man's gonna have that package more than likely, but she means that total package of maturity. He's built. He's experienced. He can teach you something. You can learn from him, and he
Yeah.
can learn from you. And he's accepting your like whatever you is that whatever you have to give him.
Oh,
Look at
well, before
JR
you
with
add,
the transition. I love it. I love it.
yeah. Look at him. Before you add Aaron in, I do Ramses, my bad, my fault. I skipped over your other comments. There was context. So I want to make sure I address his comment with the context. He said, I disagree. I think men move on and bury the hatchet more often. It's proven that women produce more attachment hormones and process emotions over a longer period of time. Society also expects men to not be as emotional or vulnerable, so they process the situation more quickly. And studies show that women are more likely to initiate breakups. As a result, men are often caught off guard, so they move on by avoiding emotional introspection and diving into hobbies and work. Damn, that's that psychology degree showing up. Ramses, you was spitting.
That's the word. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Aaron. Tap back in. Hi, Aaron. Hello.
How y'all doing? So I just wanted to come back. I got to double back. So my boy JR,
Men always
great.
double back, bro.
All right, right. You see, I said facts when she said that. I agree with you everything you said, but I think you described two different type of guys. So the first guy you described is a guy to me that leads with his wallet. Now, if you lead with your wallet and she do that to you, you a sucker for sure. But I think in the situation I'm talking about is, and I get specific with you. So as a man, I feel like I did my part, but it's more of the fact of fumbling the bag is where I left when I realized I didn't want to put all my eggs in one basket. And so, meaning as a man, I was protective, dominant, supportive, everything. So, but I didn't see the value of what I was putting in coming back in the long term haul.
Mm.
Like I'm the guy texting you, you make it to work on time, or you need this, you good. But if it's more, if I'm texting you every week, are you making it to work on time? Every month, are you making it to work on time? Or we setting goals and I'm upholding my end, and when I check in on your end every month, it's not there. So
Yeah.
that's my definition of pure fumbling the bag in my situation that I'm talking about. Because as a man, we dated for a couple years, and I upholded my end on everything. If you get what I'm saying,
Okay.
like
I
as a
understand
man,
what you're saying.
I feel
Let
like
me.
she got the best version of me,
Well, look.
and for that, getting the best version of me, I need this. I didn't see the equal return or the longevity in the relationship.
Okay. Well, let me rebuttal with something real quick so you understand. Um, I hear you. I get what you're saying, but I'm gonna tell you it's still your fault. Only because what I always say is a woman has to earn it. Because you gave it to her for free is the reason why you was dealing with that in the first place. You gave her the relationship for free, and then you did what you're supposed to do and expect her to do what she's supposed to do. No, she has to do what she's supposed to do to obtain you in the first place. And then when she does it consistently, then she will retain you that way. And the reason and what happened is you didn't allow that equation to happen that way. You gave her the relationship and expected her to just do what you think she's supposed to do in a relationship. You can't do that. And then what you did was waste your time, because there's a lot of women out here who are ready to actually earn a relationship other than you just giving it to her for free. And that's what you're going to get when you give a relationship out for free.
Yeah, and I go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry. Go ahead. Oh, what? Oh, sorry, it was me. But I do have a question on that. Was it that she wasn't reciprocating anything at all? Like she wasn't bringing anything positive, or was it just
No,
in
no,
small little ways that you wanted her to show up?
it's more of it's not. It was everything was cool. She was a good person and all that. It was more of the longevity of it, her personal habits at work or her personal things she got going on. It wasn't nothing like relationship wise, is what I'm saying. So it was more of I'm trying to build to, you know, to the next level, and I don't see her wanting the same in her life. Is what I want out of my life. Like I want
So
the world out of like I want the complete world. I work hard and I just felt like I was with somebody that was okay with not having the world.
So just to clarify, you probably felt like she at a certain point you wanted to be at I don't know, like she do something for herself, want to show up in a different way. So then you started to feel like she was becoming more of a liability rather than an asset to you.
No, it wasn't even that because as a man, it's assets a lot of bit. I prepare myself to be able to take over a lot of things. So
Hmm.
it was more of her. I'm thinking, shit, if something happened to me, we done. I mean, not done as in the
Ah,
relationship.
okay.
I don't feel like she could pick up, like, contribute
Yeah.
equally. You know what I'm saying? It ain't, and
Okay.
it's just for personal traits, not relationship traits of that, what I'm saying. Like the
Was it
relation.
that you wanted her to make a certain amount of money, or you wanted her to be able to like? Because I'm trying to get just a clear understanding of like an expectation that you had for her that was outside of the romantic relationship that you
It's just
felt like. Mhm.
self self motivation and just wanting something purely for yourself. Like
Yeah. Hmm.
that's it.
Yeah.
It's not that. It's just I seen that she okay with just the bare minimum. Like the bare minimum is just getting by is okay.
Mm. Okay.
And it's more personal traits that would fail it off because I know how to articulate, hey, this what's going on. This is how I feel. This where my head is. So I'm
Mm.
okay talking to you about it. But if I talk to you about it and you're okay, I understand where you coming from. And then a month later, 2 months later, everything's still the same. That's just a
No
trait.
progression.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
that's
Okay.
what I'm saying.
Cool.
I just didn't
Got
see
it.
progression.
Okay, understood. All right, so thank you for coming on and clarifying that with us. I know we are running short on time, but JR, I want to give you a chance now that he had added more clarity to the situation. And Cassandra, actually, let me start with Cassandra. What's your thought process on a man who is dealing with a woman who is not really progressing in whatever area he would want her to progress in?
I mean, I think that's his standard, and I think that's
Mhm.
fair. I think progression in all of its different. I think progression is important as an individual, right? We should never be the same person we are, 10 years from now than we were before. Like I think having the ability to evolve is crucial because relationships are going to evolve. People are going to like. I
Yeah.
think that's really important. And so if he saw that in her and she wasn't progressive enough, I totally get that. I think I'd be frustrated if I were him, especially if he's thinking about, children and this being the mother of his children one day. And if she can't be a progressive mother, I get it. Like I don't fault him or question him for that.
Yeah.
Um, but as you turn it over to JR, I'm actually also curious because you said something about earning it. Like a woman needs to earn him or something about that. Like, what did that mean?
Mhm.
How does a woman earn?
Well, I mean, I can't. I could go forever about how to earn the specific man, but it's so many different type of requirements that men have for each man on what stage of life they're actually in. But yeah, I do believe that men, they are the ones that own the relationship. They're the one that gets on one knee. They're the one that gives you their last name. They are the one that's going to sit there and die for you, women and children first, of course. So men are going to make that sacrifice. And for that, you can't give it to any woman. They have to earn that, or the right woman has to earn that by showing, which y'all have already demonstrated earlier, feminine, surrendering to so much stuff, open communication, understanding, having good intent. It's so many different things that you could do to earn it. And I think when a man sees all that, then that's when he should be able to give her the relationship, not before. Before is, like I said, women don't build. They move in. So you have to make sure you have it all built and you find the right woman that fits your requirements to let her move in. If you expect a woman to build, also, that's why I say these men have their mindset a little bit wrong, because that's the same thing what G was saying earlier about like the complaining. It's like, how are you going to complain for doing your job? You're the leader. You are the leader. How are you going to complain about doing your job? You're supposed to be directing her. If she's not okay with taking your direction, then why is she your woman? How did she even get here? How did you give up what is truly your sacrifice to that woman who didn't even show it?
Some people be doing the bait and switch though. So that's why I always get a little triggered when you say things like, it's your fault it happened in the first place. I can't control that motherfucker. If it said that it was $2.99 and then I get to the counter and it's $7.99, you just baited and switched me. You know what you put on that sticker?
But y'all
I thought
said
I
it
was getting a
earlier.
deal. It's more expensive than that.
But you said they
Yeah,
they spin the block. That's what I'm saying. Why they still spinning? They always spin. They need
I
if they're
think
gonna end it,
that's
then
a
end it.
circumstance, but that's not necessarily what he was speaking on.
But
I
I'm
mean,
just saying in general of what you said though is that, like, you're like, oh, they do the bait and switch, then end it. You can make a mistake, take a L. That's okay. You learn from them.
Absolutely.
But don't spin the
Absolutely.
block. That's what men do. They will
But
spin the block and get the same.
some of them aren't spinning the block. Didn't you say earlier in the episode that men don't leave even if they're unhappy?
Yeah, that's
So why are we faulting him for saying, because that's the norm, right? That's what a lot of these men are doing. They're staying. So I want to talk about the men who are staying. I don't want to shame them for staying. I don't want to
Shit.
shame them for if they value the commitment and they want to try to work through their issues. So it might take them a little bit longer to leave. I don't want to shame them for that. That's absolutely allowed.
I
100%. That's what a relationship is. It's work.
But they shouldn't have been in it, is what I'm saying. It's his
Some things
responsibility.
you don't know. Like, okay, and maybe it won't make sense to you because it's from a woman's perspective. And again, I'm sorry I'm running late, but I had my high school boyfriend, my high school sweetheart. I talk about him all the time. White boy Tyler. Shout out you. That was probably one of the best men that I have ever dated, even though we were young, very respectful, very all the things, checked all the boxes. But we grew up in small town London, Kentucky. And he dropped out of college. He started working in the factory. That was my first, something might be wrong, but I loved him, trying to fall in love with the potential, see what he wants to do, letting him lead. I remember the conversation that I had with him of, when I graduate, I want to move somewhere. Like, I want to move a state over, go to different weather, etc., and so on. And his response to me was, well, one day when we get married, maybe we can just do long distance, because I can't see myself leaving London, Kentucky. This is an 8-month-long relationship. And then now we're having this conversation, because it matters what stage you're at in life as well. And now we're having this conversation, and I'm just now realizing, oh my God, he doesn't want to leave. He wanted to build a home right in between his mother's house and his grandmother's house. And I thought I was going to yank my hair out. And in that moment, that was a relationship defining conversation. Did I try to see if I can make it work a little bit? Yeah. But ultimately I was like, no, I want something different, and it's okay how you feel, and I'm going to move on. And I think that can happen in any relationship. Sometimes shit comes up and you're like, okay, now I need to walk away, or maybe we can work through it, but it's a surprise. So again, I don't want to put it on them that something started going wrong in the relationship.
Yeah. Never mind. But okay, because I completely disagree. If it's me and I tell you what we doing, then we doing it. And I don't mean to know like I make all the rules. I'm just letting you know, if I'm gonna make that decision because I'm thinking about everything, it takes a village, this support, all this stuff. If I'm making a decision off of what I think is based, and you don't like that decision even after hearing my reason, then yeah, we're gonna have to split, because I'm the leader of this relationship. There's no way I'm going to sit here and think that there's going to be, no, it's not too, you look for me to lead, I lead, I'm going to make the decision. Do I want to hear exactly what you have to say? Well, I want to do this because of this, that, and the third. I might take that in consideration and say, you know what, that sounds actually beautiful. And then we can come back to this. We can get married, go adventure, and then come back and have kids here and have our village. That's a good compromise. That's good cooperation. I might listen. I mean, I'm more than happy to listen for it. But if you're telling me this is relationship defining, that we can't even get there, then yeah, I'm gonna have to end the relationship right then and there, because there has to be respect to me.
But it's a simple matter of we want different things in life, and nobody's at fault for that. And I don't have to be in a relationship with someone simply because they are a good partner to me right now. If we have different future goals, it is 1,000% okay for me to step away. You don't want me to resent you,
but you ain't fumbled the bag though. Like, you didn't fumble that bag all because he wanted that. That's not a fumble the bag.
I'm not saying that. But I'm speaking more to the point of like blaming people for. In that sense, with Aaron's example of someone who's not as progressive, someone who you don't see growing or elevating in certain areas, I don't necessarily think that that's his fault. You know what I'm saying?
I'm only talking about the beginning. Cassandra, what's up?
I was just gonna say that. I mean, I don't know whose fault was what, but like those are things that you get to a certain age where there's no excuse not to know. You were in high school, 17, 18. I wouldn't expect you to know to have those conversations. I don't know how old Aaron is or how old you guys are, but like we get so caught up in the vibe, we get so caught up in the butterflies that we don't ask those important questions because it sounds like we're a pick me or it sounds like we're doing too much. But no, like date number one, are we getting married? Like is marriage on the menu for you? Kids, where do you like all of those are very, very, you should be playing 50 questions on those first few dates so you're not wasting anybody's time and getting all the expectations out there. Very true. That's the number one thing that I tell women, like, I don't know why we're not asking more questions. we just assume way too much. And then you do end up 8 months down the line thinking, well, we've made it this far and maybe he'll change. Maybe I can change him. And that's the beginning of the end.
Yeah.
I got it. That was so beautiful. Actually, we've had an episode on Life with G podcast about first date questions in season 3. We really did, because we said it was so important to get to know that person before getting into a relationship, which I still cold-heartedly agree with you 100%. Those tough questions on the beginning of the date really can say, dang, we are compatible. We are compatible. Now, there's some stuff that's like, oh, he doesn't eat bacon. I love swine. That's compromisable. Like, we can compromise into stuff like that. Some women might disqualify a man for it, but we can compromise and stuff like that. But sometimes, again, just to rebuttal a little bit, is that a lot of times people want to have that investment before they go into those tough conversations. And I think it's wrong, but people do want to have that investment first, to where you're more apt to go, okay, like, because you say at the beginning, nah, I don't like it. But then later on, if you already invested emotionally, physically, all this stuff that you have investment, even financially, then it's like, it's tougher to just leave. So I might just go with whatever they say. And we got to stop that.
Yeah, cut your losses. Get out.
Yeah, I agree.
Cut your losses.
Damn, this has been an amazing, amazing conversation. I think this is one of the longest lives that we have ever done. I need y'all to hang on just a little bit longer because we are about to give our final thoughts. JR gonna get a talk your shit.
It's high noon.
Look, people, we said a lot today. All right. And if there's anything that y'all want to take back from this conversation, from me specifically, is that I hold men at a high standard. All right. And I love keeping men accountable of that standard. And a lot of you men who don't like what I'm saying, I understand it. I do understand it. This is not the norm. This is not, a lot of the time, this is not even required for you to go out there and get sexual access or go out there and get married damn near, or go out there and get a job or anything. But to be a better you, right, should be your priority. To be the best you should be your priority. And then to share that best you with somebody else, I would honestly call that bliss. So please, man, go out there and work on yourselves. All right. Don't care about these women in B4 or in Colombia and all that other stuff. No. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't worry about those. Be the best you can possibly be. And after you are the best you, share that best you with somebody who's also amazing. That's all I have to say.
I love that. JR, very well spoken. Cassandra, what are your final thoughts?
That was beautiful. It's very similar to JR's thoughts, which is, well, first let me say I love men. We'll start there. I love men, but I love myself more, and I'm not going to put myself out, alter myself, do anything in order to get a man to change, right? Like anything that I feel needs to be done externally probably means it needs to be done internally first. And so all the love, all the cherishing, all of the things that we want to see in the world start with self. Start with self. I think the reactions that we're seeing from women and where feminism has brought the culture collectively is because it's lacking self-love. And so I believe that if women hug themselves more, love themselves more, provided like that level of love for themselves more, we wouldn't be so demanding and then so triggered about what's happening, outside of us. So self-love. I'll leave it at that.
I love that. I just want to say a huge thank you to you for even being willing to come on the Life with You podcast and having such an amazing conversation. You're such a light. Ladies, make sure to go follow her on her socials. Check out what she stands for and what she's trying to do for the community, okay? Listen, side note, motherfuckers, tonight we had our first troll. And you know what that means? Life with You podcast fam, that troll coming in the beginning, making them body hating comments. You know what that means? That means we're starting to make it, motherfuckers. So keep sharing the fucking live. Keep subscribing, share to everybody. I appreciate everybody who tapped in. That's still engagement. So F you right back. Besos and blessings. Oh, self-love is important. Everything Cassandra said, everything JR said, I 100% agree with it. All right. Make sure to tune in Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern time for another live with Life with G podcast. And if anybody tells you that you can't, yes, the fuck you can. Best those blessings and have a good night.